From the Notorious missing the deadline to fight Michael Chandler to knowing he'll have to get tested no matter what, here is why Conor McGregor's USADA woes aren't over yet. When rumors started floating around that Conor was trying to hide from getting tested, the Irishman went ahead and said he could pass the USADA tests any day. Which is funny in hindsight because he just complicated things for himself even further.
Are we back? Much has been made of this USADA pool. Are we back in finally? Because that's when the clock starts to the comeback, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rushing nothing, right? So there's hurdles and whatnot, but we're in contact, we're in constant communication, and there's an interview scheduled and a meeting happened, and then it will be official.
The deadline just passed, and according to UFC rules, if a fighter wants to compete, they have to be enrolled in the USADA's program for at least 6 months. The UFC doesn't ask for much, just that you're in peak health, and that you're not using any performance-enhancing drugs to get there. It's that simple, really, to step into the octagon. Now, this doesn't really mean that Conor can't compete at all, it just means that he won't get to compete in 2023. But he had to fight this year, he just had to. Why? Because the whole world was pumped to see him take on Chandler. During his matchup against Dustin Poirier in 2021 at UFC 264, McGregor snapped his leg in a way that almost made me lose my lunch.
I was boxing the bleeding head off him, kicking the bleeding leg off him. Usual shite dive to close the distance.
He was pulled out of the fight by a doctor's stoppage and rushed to the hospital where doctors told him that if he ever wanted to fight again, he'd have to rest up. Since then, McGregor's been hyping up his return to the UFC, challenging Poirier to settle the score.
It was probably cracked, and then just on the twist of the punch, finished, but murder is something you don't clown around, there's no coming back from that. And this guy was saying he was gonna murder me and all kinds of stuff. He was telling me he was gonna kill me tomorrow. I'm gonna leave here in a coffin. You don't talk like that to people, man. I hope this guy gets home safe to his beautiful family,
While also claiming that he'd take down Chandler first. Since the two of them are feuding coaches on The Ultimate Fighter, neither of those fights are gonna happen. At least not this year, since McGregor missed the June 16th deadline.
Relationships. When this got announced, I'm gonna fight Conor later on, but the fight starts now inside the show. I wanted to beat Conor as a coach. I wanted to beat him as a mentor, as a friend, as a shoulder to cry on. Be a better coach than him on this show, and I wanted to win
And
there.
speaking of TUF, the Irishman's making a bizarre claim that he couldn't find the time to get tested because he was too busy filming. I think that's hilarious because, you get to see Chandler every day during filming. Wouldn't that be the best reminder there is to get up and go get tested? He can give fans all the excuses in the world. But that won't stop them from accusing him of using PEDs or being too scared to fight Chandler. Why else wouldn't he get tested? One fan pointed out that Conor looked extremely bloated in recent pics, and Matt Brown, an American fighter, chimed in saying that the Notorious looked like a juiced up, coked up bum.
The worst part about being in here is in about 30 seconds I gotta step out of here, man. That's what I hate. You know what? I come in here to express myself as a martial artist and fight my off and put on a show for all these people, not for these judges who rip me off. Screw you, judges.
Some fans think Conor might be playing it smart though by not getting tested because if his bloodstream does show traces of PEDs, he can kiss his UFC career goodbye. If it comes out that the UFC's poster boy is using drugs to up his game, Dana won't want anything to do with him. Conor's been busy flapping his gums though, saying he's not afraid of getting tested, and that he's been tested hundreds of times before. Okay, then why not make it 101? Well, according to former MMA fighter Chael Sonnen, it's because he is using PEDs.
Right here on the UFC's new home, Fox Sports 1. Whoa, I will let you know when I'm done, Joe. I just got done with the world champion. If you think I won't add a middle-aged comedian just for the goddamn pleasure of it, you better think again.
But not in the way you think. Chael's Team Conor all the way because he thinks the media's sensationalizing the issue and making people think that Conor's the bad guy. He is the notorious one, and it wouldn't be the first time he's been the subject of controversy. Chael says the media is trying to hide the fact that there are legal PEDs, and Conor's probably using a few that the UFC's approved, which might explain the changes in his bod. Plus the fact that he's been out of the cage since 2021, so a few changes in a professional fighter's appearance are to be expected. Okay, you know what? I'll give it to Chael. This might explain why Conor's been looking bloated recently, but that still doesn't change the fact that he made Chandler miss out on possibly the biggest pay-per-view event of 2023. Their fight was scheduled for December of 2023, perfectly around the time TUF ended. For a full circle moment, when Chandler heard that the coveted match wasn't happening, he was pissed. He's been training for months. His whole team was amped up for Conor versus Michael, and then suddenly the Irishman's a no-go just because he didn't want to get tested? The fighter took his frustrations out on Twitter and wrote, "Alright guys, you guys all have seen the news. Conor's not in USADA. 179 days left until December 16th, which is supposed to be the last pay-per-view of the year. And comically, USADA shows up at my door today to add insult to injury. Where you at, boy?" Yeah, Michael wasn't having any of it. He was mad, past tense there, because there's still a possibility he might get to face off with someone in the octagon after all. Not Conor, but after his third-round knockout victory at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Arman Tsarukyan, a number 8 lightweight, has won twice in a row and now wants to fight someone from the top 10.
We couldn't find anybody. Just he upset this fight. That's why I appreciate it. First of all, anybody from top 5, Dariush, I heard he wants to come back in December, but it's too late for me, you know. I heard with Conor is over, you know, and probably they're gonna give me that fight, you know, and I'm gonna kill this guy.
Who's he after? Well, Chandler, of course. Arman said that Beneil Dariush won't be competing at UFC 294 since he lost, and considering McGregor's current situation, he believes that a fight with Chandler is definitely in the cards for him. So I guess all that training Michael did for his fight against Conor might come in handy when he meets Arman in the ring. Hold up though, I know Conor's not winning any favors right now, but there's still a chance he could clear things up, just in time for December 2023's fight. The Irishman made a post on Instagram where he said we should shut up and wait, and that we should be patient to hear a roar from the throne.